Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Speaking Nerd Podcast, the place to talk about all things comics, movies, TV, video games, and everything nerdy. So, doing a kind of bonus video for the weekend. If you missed Friday's episode with Swifty taking over, be sure to check that out. There will be a card up top, and it should be annotated at the end of the video. But yeah, we talked about it on Friday. Some news came out, and yeah, I just kind of wanted to go through a few things and, just kind of giving some thoughts on certain topics. It's mostly DC centric, but yeah, this should be a good time. But okay, the first thing I wanted to kind of talk about just a little bit since the movie came out was Godzilla vs. Kong. Came out during the week. I watched it and I had a blast. I had a good time with it. I had a really good time. I watched it with my brother and both of us were just we were hooked the whole movie. It had some issues. I don't want to get into spoilers here, but I'm gonna try my best not to really give anything major away. One thing I want to note is that most of the film is Kong focused, which is good because this is the second film of the series that he's in, but I wish that we got I wish that we kind of got more of Godzilla, just a little bit more there. And he's not really in it for long, and it's a bit of a shame, honestly, since I'm a fan of the series. And that's the one thing about crossovers that, you have to nail, is that you got to get both sides in there. And I feel like they just kind of left Godzilla on the wings and didn't really know what to do with him besides, his plot. But yeah, as for the other stuff, there was one character who I will not give away or talk about in depth, but I feel like he didn't need to be there at all. If you watch the movie, you may know who I'm talking about, and I don't know if you agree with me or not, but every scene that he's in kind of spoils it. It could be a really good, intense moment, and then he'll just come in and kind of ruin it with certain lines and such. But yeah, I gotta say the fights between the two of them are really good. It was fun seeing them, battle it out throughout the movie, and they give some nice nods and winks to classic monster movies, which I was really happy to see, and also some moments which I called, and I was shocked to see it happen. After I talked about it. But yeah, I'd say this is an enjoyable movie. I'm not sure where I would put it in my kind of ranking of the new MonsterVerse series in total, but I need another rewatch before I can really find a placement for it. But I'd say it was entertaining, just for sure. So, I mean, if you're a monster fan, if you're a fan of the MonsterVerse, if you like Kong, you like Godzilla, I'm sure that you're probably going to enjoy this. You see the title of the movie, and that's literally all that you're pretty much getting, and what's there is good, and I'm definitely going to have to rewatch it at some point. Yeah, anyway, moving on to my next topic, which is related to some DC animated projects. So they're doing an adaptation of Batman the Long Halloween. which is something that fans have been asking for years. I think in the midst of movies like The Dark Knight Returns Part 1 and 2, like they always wanted to get that somewhere in there, and now they're finally delivering it. And it's going to be a 2-part film, which I'm happy for, because then you don't have to condense an entire movie down, especially for a story like this, which, takes it over the span of a year. So I'm glad that nothing is being condensed down, and nothing is being, they don't have to cut anything for time and that kind of thing. The fact that they're making it 2 parts, it feels like the whole story is going to be explored, and I'm happy about that. We got some casting news. The one that caught me off guard, and the one that kind of, made this whole project interesting, is that Jensen Ackles, who you obviously know from Supernatural, and also he played Jason Todd, Red Hood, in Batman Under the Red Hood, which is still one of the best DC animated films of all time. Like, amazing stuff. He's going to be playing Batman, and also Troy Baker is coming back. He's playing the Joker, which is cool. I like Troy Baker's Joker. And but yeah, there was some more castings. One of them, I forget her name, who's playing Catwoman, but she passed away. She managed to finish all her lines and stuff, but unfortunately she passed, and that's kind of sad. But okay, now I'm just going to get into the thing that kind of bothers me about this a little bit. And I think I'm going to make a rant video on the side talking about my issue with the DC animated films. But I just want to talk about this project specifically, because they've decided to kind of wrap this in, or at least that's what I'm getting. They're deciding to, wrap this up with, I guess, a new DC animated movie universe that they're making, with projects like Superman, Man of Tomorrow, and also that new Justice Society film, which is coming out, which I guess is a part of it. If they are making a, new universe and all that kind of thing. But say this is happening. I was talking to people about this on Discord not too long ago, like right when the announcement came out, and I went into a whole thing where it's just like, I miss the days of when DC did an animated adaptation of, a well-known comic book story. They fought tooth and nail to make it as accurate and as perfect as possibly be. I mean, you got movies like The Dark Knight Returns Part 1 and 2, which are still amazing. I love those 2 films. Batman Year One. Overall, like, good stuff. I mean, if there's one thing I can change about that, it's just the casting for Batman himself. But like, besides that, overall really enjoyable. But there's this thing that's been happening the last couple years where, they say they're going to adaptate these incredible stories, but they either go off the rails and do something, completely different. It just mostly has the name there, or they change huge elements either for runtime or just, trying to fit it into, an already established universe, which is not what we want as fans. We just want to see these stories be adapted and, be as what they were intended to be. So whether or not this turns out, like for Long Halloween, whether this turns out to be a good or a bad decision, we'll have to see. But if it ends up being a blunder, then it's really a shame, because this is a story that I enjoyed a lot between the first time I read it in high school and even in the last couple years, rereading it a couple times. But, it's just, I don't know what DC is thinking with this whole, with, animated projects, and, it's kind of turning into a bit of a, you know, bit of a hassle, and I'm not really a fan of it. But let's hope let's hope the Long Halloween does well. But yeah, there's no trailer yet. I'm hoping by the time the trailer does come out, it'll get my hype up, but we'll just have to see. But also another thing too that kind of that I just thought about now is that it feels a little redundant, especially because the Matt Reeves Batman movie is taking a lot of inspiration from the Long Halloween comic. So, having those two projects within a similar time span, I don't know if it was the right move. I don't know. It's just, I don't work at DC, and, I'm not really green lighting projects, but I don't know. But yeah, I hope it's all good, and I hope this all works out, because if it doesn't, then I'm going to be sad. But, I know I'm in the minority when it comes to this, because I know, people I've talked to, they're excited about it. And, there is stuff to like Jensen Ackles. I'm really excited to see him play Batman, see his take on the character, because this is someone who has always wanted to play Batman. And, I hope that opportunity is, they do him right, and, it makes it, work out. But it's just DC these last few years, I guess this last decade, honestly, but like 5-6 years they've been making some really weird decisions. And I thought after Apocalypse War came out and Man of Tomorrow, like they did a good job with that. I thought it was going to be something different from DC, and my faith is starting to crumble a little bit. But yeah, I'm gonna move on now before I go on to this for much longer. So a couple of projects, some DC movies, some live action movies got canceled. The New Gods movie, and also the Trench spinoff, which I think is being helmed by James Wan. Yeah, those two projects got canceled. The reason for the cancellation, I saw this earlier with the New Gods, is that New Gods was going to feature Darkseid, and they didn't want to do anything with Darkseid coming right off the heels with the Snyder Cut. I guess for like confusion's sake, because the Snyder Cut is not canon to the DCEU EU. But the Trench movie, though, like I'm not bothered by it. I wasn't really excited for it myself, but that's just me. So Trench I don't really care about, but New Gods, like, I like the New Gods. I like them in the DC animated universe, and I was curious to see what they were going to do with in live action. But that just kind of fell down the drain. And it's especially weird with everything that's going on, but because they want movies that are connected, making this, whole extended universe, but also you want to push, the multiverse and solo projects, and, it's just kind of turning into a mess. And I, I don't know what else, I don't know what else to say on that, but, I'm going to move on. But yeah, final thoughts. Shame about New Gods. Trench. Let it sink to the bottom of the ocean, because I do not care about the trench. Okay, so next up is for the Flash TV show. They just announced some new castings for this season. We're getting a new speedster, and that new speedster is Impulse. So Bart Allen is coming to the show. And I saw this the other day. Our Impulse is being played by Jordan Fisher, which don't really remember if I've seen him in anything. I'm going to assume no, but I'm curious to see what they do with him in the show, which what I think is kind of just making it so Wally isn't really a thing anymore, just kind of replacement Wally, and that's kind of a shame, since I liked Keenan Lonsdale in that role. But I saw this thing the other day too, which may or may not be confirmed, but it was said that they were making Impulse Barry's kid instead of like his grandson. But I don't know. Even if that is confirmed, it's kind of weird to me. But yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about this topic of news. I've been trying to keep up with the show, especially after they finished the whole they wrapped up the arc from last season, and I've been trying to keep up with that ever since. They've done some interesting things, and I'm curious to see where they go on from here. But yeah, cool to have Impulse, and not sure what's going to happen with the show. But anyway, the last bit of news that I wanted to kind of mention was that another Suicide Squad trailer came out. It came out on April 1st, April Fool's Day, which, by the way, I hope you guys enjoyed my April Fool's video I put out. I had a lot of fun making it, and you can check it out right here on the card up top. But yeah, as for this though, it was a good trailer. I'd say just as good as the last one. We got some new footage, and overall, I'm still really happy about the movie. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Yeah. Good job. Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna end the podcast. Thank you to everybody for tuning in. If you haven't already, be sure to check out the last episode, which was Swifty's video. I let him take charge, and that's kind of my plan for this month, is that I wanted to kind of do, topics with all four of them, or all three other members of the podcast, have them have a topic, and, them kind of lead the video. So I'm curious to see where that goes for the rest of the month. And then also I have a special video planned at the very end, which I don't want to spoil right now, but it looks I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah. Anyway, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share all that fun stuff. Be sure to follow me on down below on everything such as Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and also I have a Discord server if you're interested in joining. We always appreciate new members joining, so yeah. Anyway, I hope you all have a great night. Thank you all so much for watching, and don't forget to take care of yourselves. See ya.